What's up, y'all? Legacy 4x4 here, back again. This time we're gonna do floorboards. So the floorboards in the J20 are pretty rusted. They need replaced. If I'm gonna do carpet, I might as well do the floorboards too. So this video is gonna be on how to replace floorboards and how to install carpet on pretty much any truck. It's all the same. It's all metal and carpet work. But we're doing it on my 1979 Jeep J20 with a Cummins diesel in it. Alright, here's what we're working with here. You know, someone really likes spray foam, but floorboards have been replaced before. You can tell near the rockers, or not near the rockers, but near the door, like pinch weld right there, you can tell there's holes, gaps starting to develop. So pretty much most of this metal is already corroded. The process is going to be just, go with passenger side. The process is going to be taking out these old patch panels, reinstalling new patch panels, and cutting out all the rest we can. That way we have a nice clean installation for when we actually put the carpet down. So at the end of the day, you should get something like this. I mean, you shouldn't, but you probably will if you're looking at this video. This is a lot worse. So I mean, I had a patch panel over, but they didn't cut the rust out before they put the panel over, so it just continued to rust and eat it itself. I mean, the whole metal was just all corroded. So not ideal, but it is workable, I think. The next step here is going to be cutting out all the rust, completely cut, like everywhere you see rust, cut it out. A layer of rust converter, getting a clean working surface, cutting out a nice piece of sheet metal, and then bending and forming the sheet metal to form where you want the panel to be. So I'm using 16 gauge sheet metal that I had cut to roughly the right shape, and then I can grind out the corners and make the bends and stuff myself. I'm gonna get to cutting out all this rust. It'll probably be a few seconds. I might even be able to shop back half this stuff off. So we'll see where it ends up, but I'm gonna get to doing that real quick, and then I will be back with a big hole. Here it is. In case you're curious about how much you really need to cut, it's a ton. You want to cut further than the rust goes, obviously. So like these little small spots on the rocker right here, I am gonna leave, so there's a little bit of support right there, and I'll weld to the pinch weld when I weld the replacements in. So like this little small chunk, that's it. I am leaving that. But I got my 16 gauge laying over there, so I'm gonna get to mocking up the wider piece and get it ready to fit into where I want it on the J20. All right, this is that DIY fabrication special. So this was just like a 4 foot by maybe 25 inches piece of 16 gauge that I had cut just to a rectangle. Then I can form the rest of it myself. So, little DIY fabrication. People always think it's really hard to fabricate. It's really just cutting, grinding, trial and error if you really want to get to it. But just rough measurements and trial and errors. No fancy tools here, just the usual. Maybe that's a 6-inch vise. Vise it in, hold it with one hand, cut with the other hand. The bends are pretty simple. I don't have a press to bend 16 gauge. I can't do it by hand. So just make a little small divot cut, bend it until it's like bendable, bend it, and then weld that back in place so it's waterproof. But that's the setup. I ended up doing a little bit of rust conversion on it just because I figured this little support bracket wasn't ever going to be converted again. If I do the frame, I'll do the frame, but cheapo Walmart rust conversion. So backtrack, I ground down all the rust off of this little subframe, or most of the rust off the subframe. You can still see it flaking a bit, but I ground down the rust as best I could with the grinder, and then I just did a little Walmart Rust-Oleum rust conversion, and then I'm gonna paint over this with a black enamel, I think. So this is just a conversion, but I'm probably gonna do one layer of enamel paint as well, just to be safe. I got the floorboard made. I think it'll fit, we'll see. All right, got everything burned into place for the most part. This side is done. Boom, passenger done. So that's good enough for me to figure out what kind of gap sealer I want, whether I'm going to do a rubber sealer, epoxy, or what to get those little gaps sealed. That's the 2 replacement floor pans. I mean, it's really that easy. You just kind of hit some metal with a hammer until it works, and you just keep working at it, and then you're done. Those are replacement floor pans. Like I said, they're just tacked in right now. But when I do some sealer and some bed liner on it, one, it's gonna, you know, hopefully stop all the leaks from coming through. Not that it's ever gonna be underwater or that high up the level, but for splashes and stuff, general stuff. Two, it's gonna, the bed liner will quiet down a little bit on top of like the mass back carpet. So I'm gonna get to filling that in, bed lining around all the new stuff and some of the big important parts, and then we'll be back for the carpet. So I'll catch you guys when they're getting ready to do the carpet. Okay, all right, floorboards are done, installed, and I have the carpet just sitting in place. So here's how everything looks with it just sitting there. So what's going on with the carpet? So in case you can't tell, I have the carpet rolled. So the way you install carpet is you start from the back, roll forward, and you know, make room for where you need to make room. You can see there's a cutout already for shifters, so that'll be coming out. But here's what I did in the back. You can see I'm just gonna leave this folded up right here. I'm not gonna cut it just to lay this flat. It's in the back and that doesn't bother me. I cut slits for the seat belts. This will get pushed back in. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. It's in the back. The bench will be in the way anyways. But yeah, I'll get to rolling this up, getting it all cut and then situated and laying down, and then we'll put the trim on and that will lock it down. Yeah, it's been like a few days, maybe a week, I don't know. I had to start working again, so I got a little sidetracked and I just never finished where I started with the J20, but it's done now. The carpet's installed. Everything's looking pretty. The only thing that's really missing is the, you know, Mexican blanket I got handmade on Etsy for the bench seat, but I'll go show you guys where it looks, how it looks, I should say. All right, here's how it turned out. I put new weather stripping in too, just because I figured while I was here I'd put new weather stripping on both sides, but it's gonna be a blanket over the bench seat eventually that's gonna match the paint. That's why it's handmade. Here's the carpet. On the back, you can see I didn't really care about lining everything up perfectly. I just kind of cut it and threw it under, which is fine with me. Love the way it looks, love the way it feels. There's a lot of backing on it. I also put new shifter boots on because why not? They were out anyways. I left the corners up there, and if you can see underneath of it, I left a lot of room up top just because I really don't care. But that's the way it turned out. So that section's done. Next is going to be rewiring, gauges. I'm making like a custom dash thing right there and do some custom gauges and stuff and switches and everything. That's going to go with the wiring. Anyways, guys, those are the first steps in the J20. We really appreciate you guys watching, following, supporting. There's a lot more to come. Obviously, this is just the beginning. Next video is going to be wiring and gauges. Maybe there'll be 2 videos, maybe it'll be 1. I don't really know. I haven't really got there yet, but that'll be coming out soon. And I think my brother's working on a roll cage with Bentech right now, so that's going to come out soon too. We'll have a race so he gets the next one out first. But anyways, I really appreciate it. We really appreciate you here. As always, guys, have a great day.